You've just entered the Bear Report, your digital zone for all things Chicago Bears. Bear down. Let's get into it.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. We take your sources, we dig into them, and hopefully give you some clear, actionable insights. Today, we're looking at the Chicago Bears. Some pretty significant news there, specifically the contract extension for GM Ryan Poles. You asked us to unpack this one, what it means for the team, how it fits with the new coach, and, well, what we can make of how Poles has done so far based on different viewpoints.
That's right. That's the mission. We're going to try and cut through some of the noise around this Poles extension, look at the team situation, and help you understand not just what happened, but why it actually matters for the Bears going forward. We got some really interesting angles from the material you sent over, insights into the thinking behind it, and maybe what it means on the field.
Okay, so let's lay it out. The headline. Ryan Poles, the general manager, gets a contract extension, aligns him with the new head coach, Ben Johnson, through the 2029 season. Seems like a big statement, right? A strong commitment from the organization.
Yeah, but what's really fascinating is the timing. When you dig into the reports, a lot of people expected this maybe later after this season, or maybe even before the coaching search, to give candidates clarity.
Right.
But instead, it drops just a week before rookies and QBs report to camp.
Yeah.
So, the timing makes you ask that question. Why do it right now?
Well, one way to look at it is it's logical, right? You want the GM and the head coach locked in together, their futures tied. It kind of gets rid of that gray area, that lack of certainty that can really hurt a team.
Exactly. That's the positive spin. Organizational alignment, stability, and apparently that was a big deal for attracting Ben Johnson. Our sources say he really prioritized stability.
Makes sense.
But it does open up another conversation. What if, say, the 2025 season is just a disaster, being locked into Poles through 2029? Well, that could make changing things much, much tougher. Some observers are even framing it less as a reward for achievement and more like a reward based on hope for what's coming.
And this adds another twist. The transparency, or maybe the lack of it. Reports suggest the Bears didn't actually confirm this extension directly. It was more like it leaked out. Maybe from Poles, maybe his agent.
Yeah, and that points to what some see as an ongoing issue there, a lack of openness about these big front office contracts.
Okay, so let's shift to how Poles' time there is actually viewed. Some initial reporting on the extension. One source called it almost like a Ryan Poles brochure. Highlighting the big wins.
Right.
The blockbuster trade in 2023, getting out of the #1 pick, which, eventually nets them, Caleb Williams, and landing B.J. Moore plus draft picks seen as a huge victory, and then hiring Ben Johnson, signaling this new era.
And if you connect that to the bigger picture, that brochure view, it definitely paints him in a positive light.
Yeah.
But our sources also bring up some pretty crucial context that got entirely left out of that narrative.
Like
the team's actual record under Poles. 15 wins, 36 losses. 36 losses total. That includes a 10-game losing streak in 2022, a franchise record. And then, incredibly, they matched it with another 10-game losing streak in 2024.
Wow. Okay, so you've got a GM overseeing a team that's been dead last for 3 years straight. It really makes you ask, are they rewarding failure here? Or is it just, deep faith and a long-term vision?
Feels like Groundhog Day for Bears fans, maybe.
Yeah, those streaks.
Oof. And what the sources suggest is this organizational tendency to just kind of breeze past that failure. The focus is very much on selling hope, not selling actual success. The concern is there's just no hard evidence yet of sustained success. Someone pointed out the Bears' last run of 3 winning seasons in a row.
1988.
1988. Seriously.
Yeah. So there's this feeling that the organization often just shrugs off failure, says we'll fix it, but doesn't really show the proof.
Okay, let's get more specific then. Kind of a report card for Poles based on the sources. What are the highs and lows? Okay, positives first. That trade, the #1 pick trade, that comes up again and again. Huge victory. Led to Williams, Moore, Darnell Wright, plus future picks like Torrey Taylor, Tyreek Stevenson, even Luther Burden III eventually. So a lot came from that.
Right, that's a big one.
The Montez Sweat trade is also generally seen as a win. Maybe some caveats about if he's always a game wrecker, but still a positive move.
Yeah.
And hiring Ben Johnson, probably the biggest splash they've made since, the end of last season.
But there have definitely been missteps too, right? The sources point those out clearly.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Keeping Matt Eberflus for year 3. That's seen as a huge failure by many, especially after those catastrophic collapses in 2023.
Yeah, those were tough to watch.
And the Chase Claypool trade, called one of the worst trades in the last several years.
It seemed like Poles was just determined to make it work, even when the red flags were there.
Any others mentioned?
Yeah, the Nate Davis signing, drafting Vallis Jones, those pop up as errors too. So it creates this kind of tension, doesn't it? Sources seem to suggest people generally like what Poles has done building the roster,
Right.
but they feel the players haven't actually succeeded on the field. And they put that down to coaching.
Exactly. And ultimately, the coaching situation, that's also on Ryan Poles, right? And I mean, the instability there, what is it, 6 play callers, offense and defense combined since he got there, that's a major concern. It points back to his decisions.
So it's like, good job acquiring assets, maybe, but frustration with coaching hires and, well, the lack of wins, the actual results.
It sums it up pretty well. Building blocks versus wins right now.
Okay, so looking forward, let's talk about the roster he has built. Sources say it's fortified with core pieces, guys locked up for the next couple of years at least. You've got Caleb Williams, obviously. Sweat, DJ Moore, Darnell Wright, Jalen Johnson, Cole Kmet, Romano Dunze, TJ Edwards, Kyler Gordon. It's a decent core.
Yeah, and they've apparently managed the brought in some other pieces too, like Joe Thuney, Drew Dahlman, Grady Jarrett. Sets a foundation.
But there are still question marks, especially with the rookies.
For sure. There's buzz around the 4th-round linebacker, Ruben Hippolyte II. Sounds like he could actually push for a starting spot, which is great value.
Okay.
But the 1st-round tight end, Colston Loveland, he's coming off that shoulder injury, so you have to see how that progresses. And then there's this bigger issue, this league-wide contract thing affecting 2nd-round picks, kind of a holdout over how those contracts are valued.
Ah, right.
And that's hitting Bears rookies. Luther Burden III, the receiver, Ozzie Tremolo, the tackle, Shamar Turner on the D-line. They could miss really important development time because of this dispute.
That's not ideal heading into the season.
No, definitely not. Critical time for rookies.
So you factor all that in, the new GM coach alignment, the core players, the rookie situation. What are realistic expectations for the Bears this year, 2025? What do the sources suggest?
I think the consensus, if you average it out, is pushing for a wild card spot. Hovering somewhere around 0.50, maybe slightly better.
Okay, respectable.
But it hinges on a lot, right? How do all the new pass catchers fit? How does the O-line gel? I mean, 60% of it is playing together for the first time?
That's a big variable.
Huge. And how does Ben Johnson handle being a play-calling head coach? Can guys like Tyreek Stevenson on defense bounce back?
Yeah.
It's really about maximizing everyone on offense.
Yeah.
You know, not just putting it all on Caleb Williams to be Superman right away.
Right. It needs to be a team effort, a system effort.
Exactly.
So looking at everything we've talked through today, what part of this team's potential gets you most, I guess, intrigued or excited?
For me personally, it's the chance for a really thoughtful offense, something designed, like what we saw glimpses of, or more than glimpses in Detroit. The hope, I think, is that this new staff can actually give the Bears an advantage before the snap, get guys schemed open.
Yeah.
That'd be very different from what Chicago fans are used to seeing, a real departure.
So this whole deep dive, it really throws that tension into sharp relief, doesn't it? The organization's vision, their hope versus the actual track record. This extension tries to lock in leadership, build stability, but it absolutely raises those questions about accountability. And can they finally turn all this hope into real, sustained success on the field? It kind of leaves you thinking, if a championship is the ultimate goal in football, how much hope do you bank? How long do you wait before you need to see concrete proof, actual progress? This season feels massive for the Bears. It could validate the faith in Poles and Johnson, or it could just show that the same old problems are still haunting them. What will you be watching for most closely as this new era gets going?
Thanks for tuning in to the Cybear Report. We're proud to be your voice in Bears Nation. If you liked what you heard, hit follow and spread the word. More news, more takes, more grit, coming your way soon. Don't forget to follow the show wherever you get your podcasts. And as always, bear down.